Once upon a time, in the world of fame and fortune, there lived a young woman named Amara. She was a rising star, a voice that could make hearts ache. With every note she sang, she captivated millions, and her songs became anthems for the broken-hearted, the dreamers, and the lost. Amara's beauty, her voice, and her presence were like a rare gem in the music industry, and soon she was known worldwide. But as her fame grew, so did the darkness that lurked behind the curtains. Amara had always been close to her best friend Zara. They had met as children in a small village where they would sing songs to pass the time. Zara was always the quiet one, content to stand in the shadows and admire Amara's talent. But deep down, jealousy had begun to fester in Zara's heart. She could deny the envy that gnawed at her every time she watched Amara perform in front of thousands, feeling the warmth of the spotlight and the adoration of the crowd. While Amara rose to the top, Zara remained in the background, watching from the sidelines. She told herself that she was happy for her friend, but the truth was that Zara's heart had hardened with resentment and hatred. Every time Amara's voice graced the stage, Zara felt a bit bitter, and she could no longer ignore. One day, as Amara was preparing for her biggest performance, yet a concert in front of thousands of people in the heart of the city, Zara's jealousy reached its boiling point. She couldn't bear to watch Amara shine while she remained in the shadow, a mere footnote in the story of her friend's success. In her twisted mind, Zara began to hatch a plan that would rid her of the person she thought stood in her way. Zara reached out to a group of shady individuals, people who had no morals and no loyalty. She promised them a large sum of money in exchange for a favor, one that would ensure Amara's career and life came to an end. She painted a picture of Amara as a threat, a star who had taken everything that was rightfully hers. Zara convinced the men that Amara's death would make her the next big sensation, the one who would take the world by storm. But unknowingly to Zara, not everyone in the shadows was as cold-hearted as she imagined. One of the men, Jamel, had worked with Amara before. He had witnessed her kindness, her generosity, and the way she touched the life of others with her music. Jamel was no stranger to the dangerous world of the music industry, but something in Amara's spirit has sparkled something in him. A sense of morality he didn't know he had left. He couldn't follow through with Zara's plan. Jamel quietly reached out to a few of his alliance, people who knew the underworld and who had a sense of honor left. Together they devised a plan to save Amara. They knew Zara's plot and they had to act fast before it was late. The night of the concert arrived. Amara stood backstage waiting for her cue. The air was electric, the crowd was roaring, and her heart raced with excitement. As she stepped onto the stage, she felt the familiar surge of energy, the rush of being in front of her fans, the feeling of belonging. But as soon as she sang the opening note of her song, a strange sense of unease washed over her. Unknowingly to Amara, Zara had sent the hired men to her dressing room, armed with the intention to end her life. They had planned to strike just before she hit the stage. In the midst of the chaos, but Jamel and his alliance had made sure to intercept them. They arrived just in time, stopping the men from carrying out their dark mission. As Amara sang her heart out in front of the crowd, a group of security guards led by Jamel moved swiftly backstage, catching the intruders before they could do any harm. The men were subdued, arrested, and dragged away in handcuffs, leaving Zara's treacherous plan in ruins. It was only after the performance that Amara found out about the plot against her. She was in disbelief, her mind struggling to comprehend the betrayal. She had always trusted Zara. Their bond seemed unbreakable, and yet Zara had been the one to plan her death. Zara, realizing her plan had failed, tried to run, but the authorities were already on her trail. She was arrested shortly after, her once beautiful face now a mask of rage and regret. The truth about her jealousy, her envy, and her betrayals was exposed to the world. Amara, though shaken, stood tall. She was devastated by the betrayal of the person she had once called her best friend, but she also knew that she had been given a second chance, one that she would never take for granted. The world has almost lost her, but the strength of her spirit, her music, and the people who truly cared for her has saved her life. In the end, Amara's voice continued to soar. She poured her pain, her anger, and her healing into her music, creating a new album that resonated deeply within her fans. The songs became anthem of survival, of overcoming betrayal, and of finding strength in the face of darkness. As for Zara, her name became synonymous with envy and deceit, a cautionary tale about the dangers of letting jealousy consume you. And though Amara will never forget the pain of her best friend's betrayal, she learned one valuable lesson: that the greatest power she had was not her fame or her voice, but her ability to rise above the darkness and keep singing no matter what. Thank you for listening and view my story. Please don't forget to like, share, and comment. And also, please click the notification button.